All right, now let's talk about a few things that I'm going to need to fix and or improve about my bog plumbing. We've got a suction tube with a little filler port to fill the suction tube. Our pump, all 3-inch lines. The pump has 2-inch intake and output, but 3-inch, 3-inch right into the 3-inch right up to the intake, 3-inch directly out of it. Ball valve to isolate the pump, and then Schedule 40 ABS pipe all the way up to the bog, and then the bog enters about a foot below water level through the liner with a bulkhead fitting. First things first, the way that I have a check valve at the bottom of this. I have another video where I showed you the backwater valve, the sewer backwater valve. It works really well at the bottom of this. This keeps this suction tube full because this pump always has to stay primed in order to work. So if there's a power failure, or if I need to turn the pump off, this line will stay full. If it's ever not full, you'll need to fill it by unscrewing this. This is called a test plug. Popping that out and then putting water in there until the suction line's full. Now, because I went through the liner below water level, I'm about to spend the next few minutes explaining why not gluing my plumbing joints in the bog was causing bog water to backflow into the reservoir. But I'm wrong, actually. The problem is that I have a siphon effect going on, and since my plumbing doesn't have a high point above waterline, there's no way, at least that I know of, to break the vacuum. I do have a fix for that, but I'll go into detail on that on another video. Yeah, the breather pipe. That would work if I had gone over the liner, right? If I had gone up over water level with the pipe and then down, over the liner down into the bog and placed a breather above water level, drilled a hole in the pipe or placed an AAV above water line. If I'd done that, that would have worked. But because where the pipe enters the bog is always going to be a foot underwater, the breather doesn't work. And me being a novice plumber did not realize that at the time that I was installing it. So that was a wasted effort. So if you're gonna use an air admittance valve or do some type of breather pipe on your bog, put it. That's only going to work if your line goes over the if your line goes over the liner. If your plumbing goes over the liner, otherwise it will work, but not until your water is down to the level of wherever your bulkhead is installed. Mine's down a foot. What else? Oh yeah, this was a dumb idea. Not the concept itself. You need it. You need to be able to have an accessible port here where you can fill your suction line so that you can start your pump and have it primed. But this test plug, which I thought was like an easy way to just be able to screw on and screw off whenever I needed to. It works, it's fine, and it's rated for 17 PSI, which I'm bad at math. What's 17 times 2.31? You can convert that to PSI converts to head pressure, which is what we're familiar with working with in a pond system, at a rate of 2.31. So 1 PSI is 2.31 feet of head. This is rated for 17 PSI, which, this system has less than 5. I'll have to, double check my calculations, but I believe less than 5. And we're on the suction line, so really it's pulling it down instead of pushing it out. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. And it works, but here's where it is a big deal. The other day, I was messing around with the pump, and I pressed the off button, and it shut off instantly. Like it just killed power to it instantly. Impeller stopped spinning, and the back pressure from the water up there pushing the water, going downhill here with this valve open, was strong enough. I don't think that all of it pushing down was strong enough, but maybe like the backrush current of it popped this thing right off, and I had a geyser shooting up I had a geyser shooting up out of there. Luckily I was right here, and I was the one controlling the pump. So I just closed this valve and that fixed that, and then I just put that back in. But, again, you're thinking about like, how can I leave this pond and go on vacation, or, go to work or whatever, and know that things are gonna be fine. Right now, I can't know for sure that if the power fails while this system is running and this valve is open, that that's not going to happen again, and the same thing will happen. I'll lose a foot of water. I'll lose a foot of water there, and probably instead of losing it back into the cistern down here, it'll probably just spill out all over the ground. I'll just lose all of it. So what I should have done is installed a clean out with a threaded cap on it, like I did up here. This is a good idea. This is a bad idea. Don't do that. Just get a threaded cap, and just get a clean out fitting and a threaded cap. Now, it's not the end of the world if I were to have to cut this fitting out and put a new one in and do that again. I can't do it on this one, right? Because these test fittings are designed to fit into a pipe, not into a fitting. So what I did was I cut a really, really short piece of pipe and stuck it in this fitting, and then put the test plug in. Well, the little lip I gave myself here is not enough space to glue another fitting onto. I mean, maybe I'll try it before I just cut this out. Not the end of the world to cut it out, so maybe I'll give it a shot. It will not be a very good connection with only that much. It's basically my finger's width, less than an inch. Anyways, just don't do this. Just put a clean out fitting with a threaded cap on it. Use some Teflon tape, thread it on there and tighten it down. That's the best way to go. You shouldn't have to open this, as long as you don't have regular power interruptions and you have a good check valve down there, you shouldn't have to open it very often. Also, having that threaded plug there allows you to do other things with it. Can't imagine what else I would do with it. But I can't really do anything with this tiny little stub of pipe. Didn't really think about that when I was building this. Oh well, not the end of the world, but needs to be fixed to make this pond a little bit more bulletproof. There's probably a lot more, but now I've been rambling for almost 13 minutes. So hopefully you learned something useful there. That's my waterfall. I like my waterfall.